All right, guys, time to buy everything we need for the 8-scale buggy project, and you're going to watch me do it. Hey guys, welcome back to Travis RC. Today, like I said, we're going to be buying everything we need for the EB48 2.2 8-scale buggy project that I told you about in the last upload. Now, like I mentioned, the last upload that I did was the first upload I've done in honestly a couple years. Time is an issue. Real life monster trucks is an issue, which contributes to the lack of time. And honestly, I think I would get a lot more enjoyment out of racing than I would just having bashers like I've had the last couple years. I don't make enough time to use them because I don't really have anybody to run them with, unless I'm at a monster truck show. But even then, if I break something, I don't often have the time to fix it. And when I'm at home, I don't really use the RC cars much just because, like I said, I don't have anybody to run with. And it's a lot more fun to do it with other people. Yesterday, we went to Rick's Hobby Farm in New Richmond, Wisconsin. I'll put a little bit of video in here for you to check out, and hopefully it doesn't get copyrighted because they were playing music, but I had a really good time. I haven't seen any sort of legitimate RC racing in a long time, and I met some awesome people. So shout out to everybody that I met there at Rick's Hobby Farm in New Richmond, Wisconsin. They ran Nitro class, E-Buggy, which was a huge turnout. I think they had like 20 cars for E-Buggy. They had E-Truggy, which had a decent turnout as well, and a couple other smaller classes. But man, it was such a good time. I met some great people, got some great perspectives, introduced myself to them, told them what I was doing there. You know, hey, I'm Travis. I'm checking this out for the first time, or at least first time in a really long time. Told them I wanted to get into racing. I was planning to buy a buggy in the very immediate future, because that was only yesterday and we're going to be doing this today. So I got a lot of good advice, and I will say that I feel pretty validated in the research that I've done in the last few weeks, because other than personal preference things, everybody said I picked out a great parts list, and there wasn't much that they would change. There was a guy named Sam who is sponsored by Tekno that I talked to him and his dad quite a bit, and we exchanged numbers. They said, hey, if you need any help on the build, feel free to reach out to us. I met another kid and his dad that live fairly close to where I do, and they said, hey, if you have your buggy done in time, you want to go to this race in Minnesota with us, like, come on down and just ride with us there. So, like, just the friendliest people, and not that I wasn't expecting people to be friendly, but, I mean, I'm really happy that we went and met some folks, made some connections, and it just got me a lot more excited to start this project and to really get into it and start driving and start to get into racing and see what we can do with that. So with that, like I said, we're going to get into buying everything we need, all of the parts, the kit. I'm going to tell you item by item kind of why I went with that, or why I'm ordering it from where I'm ordering it. So let's jump right into it, and let's start buying things. So first things first here, I'm going to start with FierceRCSolutions.com. I believe they're based in Orland Park, Illinois, which is right outside of Chicago, Chicago suburb probably. It's maybe what a lot of people would call it. But I posted in a couple different Tekno RC Facebook groups like, hey, here are the parts that I want to get. What do you guys think? Would you make any changes, whatever? And I believe somebody either commented on one of my posts or sent me a message and said, hey, reach out to Fierce RC Solutions, see what they can do for you. You know, they're closer to you and whatnot. And I reached out to them and they're like, yeah, we're doing these huge sales. So if I go to their homepage here, we're going to see 10% off all kits and electronics, 15% off store-wide. Guys, this is crazy. You know, the Tekno EB48 2.2 is a $700 kit. 10% off kits and electronics, we're getting $70 off the kit alone. That's $70 off, excluding any other electronics that we're getting. Now, there are some things I have to get from Fierce RC. There's some things that I'm ordering from AMain, and another site or two that we're going to be using as well. I wanted to order everything from AMain initially, but I'd be stupid to not order through Fierce here, who's been very responsive when I've had questions, and not that AMain isn't either, but Fierce RC is going to be a little bit more local. Free ground shipping. These discounts on this July sale are just huge. Now, there are a couple things that I'm not getting today. One of them is going to be the batteries, which Fierce RC does carry. And he said by the time he gets the batteries we're going after, the sale's going to be over. But he said he's going to extend that sale for us to be able to get those batteries at the discounted price. So that's awesome. So anyways, let's start diving into it here. We're going to go to our shopping cart at Fierce RC Solutions. And I want to start here because we're really getting the bulk of what we need from Fierce RC. I had all of this stuff pretty much in my AMain Hobbies cart. And once I figured out what we're doing with Fierce RC, I took all that stuff out of the AMain cart and it's in the Fierce RC cart. So of course, we're going to start at the buggy, right? If you guys are here, you might already know what this is. This is Tekno's latest electric 8-scale buggy, the EB48 2.2. I did see a couple of these yesterday. There were a good handful of guys that were running the 2.1 or the 2.0. Sam, who is the Tekno-sponsored driver that I met yesterday, he was actually rocking the 2.1 as well. So, I mean, I really got to understand some of the key differences in the diffs, just the way that things are set up in general. You know, you have your split shock towers on this vehicle. So right in here, you know, you have the split between your two shocks here at the top of the shock tower. It is not connected up here, and that is with the purpose of giving you more flex in the shock towers, which is supposed to help stabilize the car and maybe give you a little bit more traction. But I mean, you guys know the drill here, right? So this is the car that we're getting. That's the whole reason we're doing this. So like I said, it's listed for $699, but once you put it in the cart, it automatically adds our 10% off discount. So that's $70 off our kit. Turnbuckle wrench, because I need one of those. Now I'm going to get into the motor and ESC. So we're going to be going with the Hobbywing XERUN 8-scale motor. We are going 1900 kV. Some guys say do 2200. Majority, especially everybody that I saw yesterday that was running buggy, pretty much had a 1900 kV motor. Now, with that being said, we're going to be pairing that with this, the Coyote, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, the Crest 8 ESC. There were a lot of guys in the Facebook groups that highly recommended this. There was one guy that I met yesterday that was actually running this ESC. From my understanding, this company is really new. They're pretty fresh, but they sponsor a lot of big name drivers. Now, of course, that's not to say that those drivers are winning because of this system, but I think it says a lot if you have a company that's newer and has the capital to invest in building a race team, because those guys can only help that company get better, and you know that they're serious about doing things for the racers. So I've seen a lot of reviews on this and a lot of positive feedback. And one thing that was also a positive to me on this speed control is the fact that it has a built-in Bluetooth tuner. So you just open up their app, and even from the driver's stand, you can tune your ESC and make any adjustments that you need to right on the fly, which is super awesome. And the one reason that I really like that is because, yes, you can get a Bluetooth adapter or whatever for a full Hobbywing system, but by the time you get a Hobbywing combo system that has your speed control, your motor, and you buy a tuner adapter on top of that, it's going to cost more than what this does with the built-in Bluetooth and a Hobbywing motor. So we're saving money, and a lot of guys online that have run full Hobbywing systems seem to really like this combination of the Coyote and the Hobbywing 1900 kV motor. So that's our drive chain essentially right there. So we got that covered. Now, on to this. This might be a little bit of a surprise if you watch my last video. I have a Spectrum DX5 Rugged that I have for one of my low-C LMTs. And after yesterday, some guys were telling me, hey, you should really look into this and consider this. It does make a big difference, and that's something that I've seen pro drivers say. That's something that I've seen beginner drivers say on YouTube. Your transmitter really, really can make a big difference. And I started thinking about it, and I started looking at this and looking at reviews. I watched a video of Ryan Stiles Harris reviewing this. Now, granted, they did send him the radio, but they didn't pay him. He's not sponsored by them. He gave an unbiased opinion, and he said he preferred the way that this felt and drove over his like $700 whatever it is radio that he was using. And this is a get what you pay for purchase. This thing has a lot of pro level features at a very intermediate to lower level price point, at least in terms of racing. It comes with a 4-channel receiver, and that's another big benefit to this too, is the receivers for this FlySky Noble are only like 30, 40 bucks, whereas the Spectrum receiver that I was going to get, if I kept using that DX5 radio, I mean, that was a $60 receiver, and that's a much cheaper system in the grand scheme of things. So after seeing a couple guys yesterday that were using these, and they were telling me about them, and this has a lot of really cool features. It has rechargeable battery. I mean, there's $700 radios that run on 8 AA batteries still. It's just crazy to me. This has a lot of adjustability. You can save just a shitload of cars in there. It has a massive model memory, a nice color touchscreen, great battery life. It has a dual battery system where it basically pulls out of this, the base of the radio is actually a battery bank, and that's what it uses for its main battery. And then in conjunction with this additional battery in the handle here, it's a 10-hour life on this transmitter, and you can also use your USB port right here to charge other devices, which is pretty rad. So fully rechargeable system, which I think would be really nice, and seems to have very low latency, very nice menu, easy to read, easy to understand. I figured we're already spending this much money anyways. We might as well get a good transmitter to go with everything else. So the FlySky Noble NB4 Plus, that's what we're doing. So then moving on from there, just a couple little things. I went with basically just this little package of grease. It has, your O-ring grease, your ring and pinion grease, I think bearing oil, just a few other things. I mean, I know the kit does come with grease and literally everything that I need to build it, right? I know it comes with all that, but it doesn't come with a very good amount of it. It comes with enough to probably get the kit built and then a little extra, but I figured it'd be nice to have something like this that's probably a little bit higher quality too, just sitting on the workbench or on the pit table when I'm at the races. So we're getting that. Also going to get a Tekno pit mat. I have a Traxxas like thick rubber pit mat now, but I'm going to get this pit mat so we have something a little bit more portable when we're going to the races. And I just feel good building a Tekno car on a Tekno pit mat, I guess. And then, of course, we need pinion gears to go on our Hobbywing motor. So we're going to go with the 16 tooth. That seems to be the most popular size for the tracks that I'll be ending up at, according to a lot of the racers that I met yesterday. And then we're going to get a 15 tooth as well to have some sort of tuning option and something that would run a little bit cooler just in case we are running hot. So as far as everything we're getting from Fierce RC, oh man, I believe that covers it. Order is being processed. Big moment, guys. Order complete. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an invoice number. We'll get a confirmation email, and that'll really seal the deal. And it's official. We have bought our Tekno EB48 2.2 and a lot of the components that we need to do it. So big thanks to Fierce RC for the awesome communication and answering questions, and especially this Christmas and July promotion that you're doing, because that saved us like $140, which is just incredible. So big shout out to them. Make sure you check out Fierce RC for some cool deals. All right, now back to the AMain cart here. Of course, we already touched on the ESC, but one thing that was recommended to me was a Gens Ace charger. So after doing some comparisons to this and some other chargers that are around that $200 mark, this seems to actually have a little bit better output in terms of charging, and should be a little bit better as far as discharging too. So this is AC and DC. I don't have a power supply. That's something that I'll probably look at in the future, because the way that I understand it is if you're using a DC power for your battery charger, it actually works quicker. So, but for now, we're going to start with AC, and this charger, based on what I've looked at, seems like a really, really good bang for the buck for $130. Now, with that being said, of course, we needed charging leads so that we can actually plug our batteries that are going to be 5mm bullets into said charger. So we have a couple of those all ready to go, so we don't have to solder anything up, at least as far as just being able to charge. So we should be able to get batteries, take these and plug them right into the charger, be good to go. I did get some digital calipers here. I do have a really old set and the battery's dead, and I just don't want to go through the pain of finding batteries. This will come with extra batteries as well, and it has a case where I just have like a cheap Harbor Freight one right now that doesn't have a case or anything like that. So that'll be nice for taking to the track. I did see these bullet plug grips, and I thought that seemed like a good idea, and just to clean up the way that connector looks a little bit, because I'm kind of a detail guy. I want things to look as good as they possibly can. The only thing that might cause some of that to suffer is just my lack of experience in soldering. So, but we are going blue and orange on this vehicle, so I do have an orange positive right there. But so that seemed like a pretty good idea, so we're going to go with that. And then, of course, we need a transponder, so I just have this MyLapse transponder, which seems to be more or less what everybody's using. So with that, we're going to close out this order on AMain and spend some more money. All right, and just like that, our order on AMain Hobbies has been placed. Couldn't really show you the order confirmation screen because it showed my address and all that, which I don't really care, but if there's one just really crazy person that doesn't live that far away that wants to come murder me, then I didn't want to show them where I live. There's only one more order that we have to make today, and that is going to be at NitroPro Racing. Now, when I made a parts list and I kind of shared it on the Facebook groups, asked for what people's opinions were and what they would do differently, I had a ProTech 170, I think SBL servo in my cart. And that's just something that I picked because when I was looking at the video about this car that Ryan Harris had made, that was a servo that he had, and I saw that there were a lot of other people running that same servo in 8 scale just in general. So, but a lot of people suggested this NitroPro company, and they have a couple different servos that would work that cost the same. The specs look just about the same, if not probably identical. I believe this is Jared Tebow edition or something like that, judging by the JTP and the logo that is on there. I mean, it's a cool looking servo for sure. But the biggest reason that I am going with the NitroPro over the ProTech is, granted, like I said, the price is pretty much the same, maybe a couple bucks cheaper, but this has an incredible warranty, satisfaction guaranteed, 12-month, no hassle warranty. So if we have any issues with any gears in there giving us trouble or stripping out or whatever, I should be able to just reach out to these guys. And from everything I've heard, they're going to take care of me. So that's kind of important when we're spending this much money. We want it to work. And if it doesn't work, we want to be taken care of, especially in that, that time period of 12 months. And I don't know that ProTech is going to do that. So we're going to go with this NitroPro servo here. So let's go ahead and check out. Oh, standard shipping, $15 for a tiny little box. All right, NitroPro, we can probably adjust that. We can probably throw free shipping at first-time customers or something, right? And there it is. We have placed the order for our NitroPro steering servo. And as far as everything we need right now, everything has been ordered for the Tekno EB48 2.2 project build that we are going to be doing. I'm so excited, guys. We should have everything here before the end of this week, and we're going to get started hopefully as soon as we possibly can. I'm really excited to rip into this. I want to give a really big shout out to Jordan at Combustion RC. I'll make sure that I drop a link for his channel. You guys need to go check it out. He's doing a build series on this car, kind of like I'm going to be doing, and I'm definitely going to refer to that a lot. I found out that he has gone to a lot of the tracks that I'll be going to, and he'll be in the area soon. Hopefully we can meet up, and I found him just on his channel. I saw that he made a video saying, hey, I'm going to be building this car, and then I just started asking him some questions. We exchanged phone numbers. He's been super helpful, so make sure you go check out Combustion RC on YouTube. He has a good variety of the things that he does, and his content has been really helpful to me and just making sure I know what I'm getting into. So really, really great dude. Like I said, make sure you go check him out because you're not going to regret it. I guess is the best way that I can put it. We have everything ordered. Now, also, I just want to make a really quick note and say I probably sound much nicer than I normally do, and I usually just record on my iPhone camera. I do have a couple podcasts. One of them is about pro wrestling. If you're into pro wrestling, Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast. Search for us on YouTube. We've been on a bit of a hiatus just because my summer is a little too crazy to kind of keep up with everything, but that's coming back very soon. I'm getting pretty excited for WWE SummerSlam next weekend. Also, if you're into full-size monster trucks, or you want to be, make sure you check out All Monster. We do social media stuff, a lot of coverage, a lot of photography, and we have the All Monster Truck podcast where we interview anybody in the monster truck industry. We go over just our travels in monster trucks. We talk about big events that are happening in the monster truck world. So make sure you check out All Monster. We love providing some monster truck content, and we could always use more of it, especially if you're a monster truck fan. You're always looking for more content. There's not enough of it. It's kind of like RC. It's a little bit niche. RC is probably a little bit broader than what monster trucks are, so check it out if you feel inclined. And I have been spending a lot of time organizing my workbench area, and I still got some more to do, but I'm trying to get everything laid out, make sure I have everything that I need. I'm keeping the wild side body, by the way. I'm not getting rid of that, even if Levi wants it. Sorry, Levi. But I'm making sure I have everything I need. I've got my MIP drivers here, and I actually had to order a 1.5 because I don't believe I had a 1.5 driver, which just blew my mind. Yeah, so this is a 2. So I have 2, 2.5, and 3 millimeter drivers, and I had to get the 1.5 because according to the Tekno manual, that's what I'm going to need. I also have some nut drivers coming, and I have the ProTech 17 millimeter hex wrench for your wheel nuts, and I also have the Tekno shock plier multi-tool and everything coming as well. So just getting everything ready to go right here, and I'll make sure that I keep you guys in the loop as packages are getting delivered this week. We should have everything in the next 5-6 days. So hopefully everything comes as quick as I want it to. I don't think that's possible. I'm too impatient. I'm too excited for all this. So anyways, guys, thank you for checking out Travis RC. I really appreciate everybody that gave me all the advice and kind words in my last video. And I got a couple subscribers because people were excited for me here. And it means the world to me, guys. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to go through this project, and I can't wait for the end result, and I can't wait to have you guys there with me. So we'll see you in the next video.